Thank you very much for inviting me. I would like, before I make basic point, pay tribute as a journalist to the coverage Al Jazeera has made for this conflict. This is the most documented series of atrocities that has happened over the last 7 months, 8 months, and it is Al Jazeera that has played a critical role in revealing what actually is going on the West Bank, Gaza, and it fought it. And that is why Israel stopped it, or attempted to stop it by shutting it out. And I pay tribute to Al Jazeera because this is also an information war, and the evidence of what's been going on in Gaza has fundamentally destroyed the Israeli Zionist position that this is just. So with that in mind, I'd just like to make really 2 points. One is the differences between October the 7th and now, and how the regional processes have changed. Then you could say that there is a fundamental difference between the Ukraine war and Gaza. Ukraine, despite nuclear threats and the real fears of an escalation, has remained a European war, is fundamentally a hangover from the bushfire wars that I covered when I was a correspondent in Moscow under Yeltsin. And it's unfinished business from Russia's point of view, and also from Ukrainian nationalist point of view. But it does not have, as yet, or did not have, global implications. It remained fundamentally a war that most affected the Baltic states and Eastern Europe and with it West Europe. Gaza is completely different. Gaza started with having very little regional implications. Turkey's opposition remained largely rhetorical, but kept trading with Israel. Nasrallah's reaction was very limited. The Houthis had yet to start their attack. In Egypt, they fought with Israel on the Rafah border by allowing Israel to dictate the flow of trucks into Gaza. Now, all of this is a change in the 7 months. And in Turkey's case, there were 2 crucial facts. Turkey started from saying we're learning from the lessons of the Arab Spring. We don't want to be an outlier. We don't want to be under attack from Saudi Arabia and from the Emirates. We want to do things quietly. We'll do things within the Arab Coast. And what changed that attitude, and it changed fairly recently, was Turkey started by behind the scenes work. They created a contact group which involved other Muslim nations other than the main Arab nations. And they were double-crossed. And they were double-crossed by some members of the contact group, and certainly by the United States, when a new version of the contact group was ready to hide their backs in the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference. And it took 2 days to realize that this meeting had taken place without Turkey's participation. Second real wake-up call Turkey had was their own municipal elections, in which the Southern Erdogan had purely campaigned on Gaza and got a significant share of the AK Party's votes. And now Turkey's position has changed. They completely stopped all trade with Israel. And that remains the biggest shock that Israel has had from a region, because it is very effective, because it was a $9 billion trade. And they had signed up to the South African IDJ uh, um, ruling. And so, a fundamental position in Turkey's position. Lebanon has changed, and Hezbollah has now, as our Iranian colleagues have said, established deterrence by direct striking Israeli bases and establishing its own deterrent. Jordan has burst into life. Jordan, remember that the Palestinian issue was dormant for over 50 years as it got into the PLO last September. And now Jordan has a unique and remarkable mixture of humiliation, rape, and guilt. They are not actually involved in. And of all the strategic mistakes that Israel has made, particularly in the West Bank, with its involvement and the secular attacks and the expulsion of the Palestinians, and not thinking about what effect this power. Jordan says that if Israel is allowed to see it in people's turn, I think also the East I could say, not just the Palestinians, but Israel is allowed us to see in Gaza, the West Bank being annexed. And so what we've got is the prospect of the longest border with Israel becoming whole. And Israel simply had not calculated, nor has America calculated the consequences of that. That's a really big change. Egypt has taken longer than most to come to a position where it feels completely betrayed by tacit understandings with Israel over Rafah. State of Israel, there's a state of Egypt, as opposed to its president, who is very violent, has realized that the loss of the Palestinian card in Gaza with the closure of the border is even fundamental strategic goal for Egypt. They've already lost in Sudan, they've lost influence in Libya. Gaza will be there, and they cannot tolerate that. Nor can they tolerate the American fear that has been created. And now they're much tougher. The last humiliation for Egypt was this whole blame game over the last ceasefire negotiations, where Egypt was blamed by America and changed the final documents put to Hamas. It's completely rubbish. My own sources, I have pieces together what happened. And the document that Egypt put to Hamas was under the full purview of the of the CIA first, and had not materially changed. And they're furious about that as well. So we've all come now to the same position. 7 months on, the region is in flame. There are no breaks, and there's no leadership. America and Britain find themselves having given them the rights to free like Israel with no working leaders how to stop this runaway train. Biden's threat to withhold heavy bombs of blood that Netanyahu immediately saw through. There's one image in Israel, which I think really strikes home about fundamentals that's going on in Israel itself. It's also a leading system. And that was on the eve of their so-called Independence Day, in which they usually honor a dead followers of the Israeli army. There is a ceremony to light beacons. Channel 13 had a civic green. And it was on one side, people lighting beacons. The other side, it was the families of the hostages dousing them. That is a real, absolutely in-your-face image of the real divisions within Israel and the dangers for Netanyahu. There is no plan for post-war Gaza. Now, there have been 2 attempts to unseat Hamas as a supplement, 3 attempts in the last 7 months. First was the Israeli plan to get the tribal peace, individual deals with them. That was rejected. Second plan was Mahmoud Barak's plan to infiltrate 150 Palestinians posing as taking for Egyptian aid convoy and to try and set up a headquarters in the Red Crescent in building complex in Russia. That failed. That wrong. I mean, Hamas can expel 7,000 of the Hamas fighters in 2007. You can deal with managed Tarafis 150. The only viable post-war government in Gaza is a government with Hamas's participation and with not necessarily in the lead, but with Hamas's knowledge and that reality. There is no post-Hamas government in Gaza, and that is down to the solidarity and the steadfastness of the Gazans themselves. Have not rebelled against Hamas. This is a war against them. They realized very early on that this was an existential war for the Palestinians, and they are the ones that are providing the leadership. My last point, going forward, you cannot put the clock back to October the 6th. There is no Gaza 2. There's no leadership in the Arab world. We have rulers, but we don't have leaders.
They never been heard.
Sorry.
I
just will finish one. That's a secret. Yeah. And the future starts from here. We have to build a new Palestinian state, or one state that is a viable state. And this has to be talked about. I can't keep on saying two states are not viable. We as intellectuals and we as academics have to start laying the foundation for one state, equality of citizenship, and one common freedom of religious expression for all religions. And we have to now start pushing to bed the Zionist state. The future starts here. We have built it. Right?